Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our podcast, Bandage hashtag over time. So, my name is Miss Kuka. I'm the school counselor, and I'll be your host for today. Today, we will be doing our sixth episode, which is very conveniently titled Back to School. Yeah. And well, the reason why we're doing this episode and the title is Back to School is because we are going back to school in just a couple of days' time, right? So, for those who studied in Indonesia, the new semester will start on the 13th of July. And due to the COVID pandemic, that hasn't exactly been doing really well, I would say. So, the thing is that we are still doing online learning, right? Which means that we are also doing a new normal protocol in schools where there are some teachers who still go to school, but they need to do the health and physical distancing protocol, and students still need to stay at home, right? And of course, the situation, I would imagine, must be very impactful towards students. Yeah, so I'd like to ask a bunch of questions to our guests here today. So we have Jane and Adriel from junior college too. So hi, Jane. Hi, Adriel.
Hi, Miss.
Hi, how are you, Jane?
I'm doing well.
You're doing well. Okay, that's awesome. How are you, Adriel?
Hello, I'm doing fine as well.
You doing
Although I'm
okay,
feeling a
guys?
bit sick here, but yeah, everything's
If
fine
it's
so far.
okay, all right. So that's good to hear. Guys, so how has holiday been for you?
Well, for the most part, it has been very refreshing in a way.
Okay, awesome.
Getting a break from the homeworks.
Oh, all the homeworks, right? I can only imagine that you guys have a lot and lots of homework last semester. Yeah. Okay, so how was the experience of, I guess, last semester was for you, with having to adjust with online learning and stuff. And how are you looking forward for this new semester? Oh,
I'd say
I'll
adjusting was definitely challenging, I guess, to the
mm,
learning habits because you have a
mm,
lot of more distractions at home, I would say.
so you're having a lot of distractions at home. Okay, so what are those distractions, Jane?
Oh, well, for example, I'm sitting in front of the TV right now, and it's very easy for me to reach the remote and to just turn it on.
Mm.
Yeah.
Right. So I think compared to school, when you're at home, when you feel most comfortable, gitu ya. So it's very easy to access a whole bunch of things instead of focusing like what's in front of you as well. I think that's very understandable, Jane, in a way as well. Okay. And how are you looking forward for the new semester?
Maybe Adriel can answer.
Okay, Adriel.
Okay, for the new semester, I'm hoping to get better on my grades and on my study habits because, to be honest, I've been lacking in those areas in the last semester, and I'm very ashamed of myself, to be honest.
Hmm. What were your expectations like when you're going through holiday and when you're studying as well?
Actually, like I expect myself to be a diligent student and to be a student
Mm.
that can complete off his assignments, but unfortunately, that isn't the case. And during the holidays, I tried my best to keep up with my own studies, and well, sometimes it does work, but sometimes it fails miserably.
Miserably, okay. That sounds a bit sad as well, but I would say, and understandably, I think even though we have good intentions, sometimes there can still be challenges that come by as well that sort of affects the way that we are studying. Okay, guys. So, in regarding to that, I want to ask you, as you are going to enter a new semester just in a couple of days, so 3 days, I suppose, so on Monday. Right. And I think this is the type of question that I think every teacher would always ask you in the beginning. So, what are your goals or your target for this academic year?
I'd say to make the most of my only 1 year left of high school, I guess,
Mm.
to finish
Oh
strong.
yeah. Mm.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's my goal.
Mm. Okay. So, going to finish strong and really using this 1 year, yeah, Jane. Yeah. I think because you also mentioned that this is your last year of your high school year actually, and I think time feels really fast in times. Um, what are you feeling right now? What are you feeling at the moment?
It's for me it's a bit scary, but also
Okay,
exciting
sure.
in a way because
Hmm.
I'm about
Yeah,
to enter the next chapter of my life where I'm going to be like more independent than I am right now.
I see. Right. So I would state that there's a mix of both. You feel excited and at the same time you feel scared as well. You are chartering into the unknown. You're going into
Yeah.
somewhere that you've never gone before, but it's also taking time for you, yeah, to enter university, to do things with your life as well. Okay. I see. And I would also ask this question to you, Adriel. So what about you?
I feel excited actually because, well, to be honest, I don't know what the future holds for me, but I'm feeling a bit optimistic that, well, if I can do all the things that I have to do, like schoolwork and other stuff, well, I think I might have a good future. Well, that's what I think. See.
Mm,
And
okay.
like, and since this is my last year of high school, like Jen said, maybe I can like do everything I can to be the best at school. Maybe if that's my if if I would make that as my goal this semester, maybe I can enhance my other skills as well, so that later on I will be a bit calmer uh, when I enter university and work life later on.
Okay, so that's very good, right? Thank you, Adriel, for your answer. So I feel like you both are, you have this goal to make this year as the best year as it can possibly be, to really do whatever you can to achieve your goals as well, particularly because you are also going to enter university and another, I would say that another phase in your life, right? Okay, and as what you mentioned, that it's very real about that feeling of excitement, and yet there's also fear. And I would say that that's perfectly normal because we are used to, or we're very familiar with, I guess, with the way that high school is, and university will be a new challenge. But hopefully, it's a positive challenge. So it's something that keeps you guys rolling, keeps you guys growing and steady on your toes as well. So I think my next question would be, well, before we are able to reach that goal, I think it's important to also be able to do something at the moment, right? Because little by little, those actions are going to measure up to an achievement that you guys can actually see. So, what will you guys do for this academic year? Like, I would say your own strategies to make sure that this is going to be a good year ahead.
Well, since the main challenge for this academic year is online learning, pembelajaran jarak jauh, well, I think the real challenge here is to really maintain and improve my self discipline, self control, and just time management. Because I think for me, that's the real challenge.
Okay, so improving that regulation, yeah, self-regulation as well, Jane. And how have you been dealing with the challenges before?
Well, as I said, it's very easy for me to reach the remote right now. But but then I view it as
Mm,
ex- um, an experience where I can grow as a person, where I can. This is such an opportunity for me to actually learn to control myself, control delay, delay gratification,
gratification?
and I
Mm,
think that's a real benefit for me in the long run.
okay, that's for sure, yeah, because delayed gratification can actually help you to achieve better results in the future. Something that's, I would say, it might be painful right now, but it can definitely give you better outcome, right? Better
Yeah.
self-growth as well. So that's very cool as well. Okay, so what about you, Adriel? Any challenges that you think you're going to face and your own strategies and dealing with them?
I think I have to improve myself as a person, both in my school academics and also as a person myself. I mean, hmm, I guess what I can do for now is to train myself, train my body, and train my mind and spirit, so I can be more disciplined and I can be more resilient in the future. Because well, I know that in the future, like there will be many more challenges that I have to face, and I have to be stronger than I am right now in order to face them head to head. So maybe what I can do now is to study hard for my school grades and to achieve what I can possibly with my abilities. And second is to have other hobbies such as reading and also like going to the gym and maybe like socializing with other people. So I can also improve my other skills and my life skills as well. That's what I can
Mm,
think of right now.
okay. Alrighty, these are really good answers, guys. I'm really impressed that you guys have a breadth of self-awareness of as well of what you think you can do and what you think that you're struggling with, but you guys have hope and you have strategies to deal with them as they go. Right, so these are really good. And I think I also want to add, well, as a counselor, I would always mention about the importance of self-care as well, right? Because it's very hard to actually function to do really well in school when you're not feeling that well, right? In the aspect of spiritual, emotional, and physical as well. So I would recommend to also make sure that you guys are taking care of health, making sure that you guys eat right, to do, you know, to get mindfulness sessions if you can, like if you're feeling like you were feeling anxious and stuff, right? And also don't forget to reach out for help, right? To make sure that you guys have contact with your loved ones, with your family, with your friends, either that's face to face or through online as well. Yeah. And I guess also another advice that I would, well, bestow upon everyone is to remember that when you're studying, it's really important that you have a good system as well that comes in place. Would really recommend to have your own study space, right? A study space that is clean, that is quiet, that has a static background, so no one's going to be walking back and forth with you, and there's no distraction from elsewhere. Yeah. And to also make sure that you have your own study schedule, I would say that make sure that you take a note for your study lessons, make sure that you keep up to date with your Google Classroom, with your Google Calendar, and so forth, so that you're not left behind. Check your emails like daily to make sure that you have replied to all messages or from any notifications from teachers as well. Okay. And last but not least, I think it's also important, as what Jane and Adriel mentioned, is to have a goal of what you want to reach, right? Because it's not that we're not going to face any challenge. It's more that we have to be able to use our strengths to be aware of what we can do and how we can actually apply our strengths to deal with the challenges that come by. And also, last but not least, can I also ask for Jane and Adriel to give some advice or some recommendations for your friends about, going back to school with a better spirit, better heart, and so forth?
I think school is not a bad place, guys. It's a place where you can learn a lot of things. Although we can't actually meet our friends and practice our social skills, it's where we can also hone our skills in our critical thinking, in all of our characters, I think, like responsibility, leadership. It's everything you can implement at school. So I would suggest for you guys to make out of the best, make the best out of the school's facilities, and join
Mm.
all kind of organizations the school provides.
Okay, and speaking of organization, Jane, what types of organization are there in school?
Well, for example, we have the student council. The elections are held every year, and we also have this podcast, obviously. And then we also have the support groups where you can share your feelings with one another and all sorts of things, actually.
Hmm. Okay, that's really cool to know, right, Jane? Thank
Yeah,
you
like
so much.
clubs, extracurricular activities. I think it's
Mm.
very beneficial for us to actually join these kind of stuff.
So, what have you learned so far, Jane, from those activities, like for you personally?
Well, for me personally, I think it's how to manage people best.
Mm.
Because from points of leadership and authority, it's not easy to actually control everything. Like when you're working alone, you have to cooperate with everyone and actually learn how to communicate best with each one of them.
Hmm. Okay, so learning how to talk to people, how to manage them, which
Yeah,
I
it's
would
I think
say.
it's these soft skills that will actually make you stand out from people.
Hmm, for sure as well, right? I think especially in this environment at this time.
Yeah,
Yep,
where
team.
it's highly competitive.
Mm, yep, that's very good. So very cool. Thank you, Jin. And what about you, Adriel? Do you have any advice for our viewers?
I think what you guys can do is to basically know what you have to do this semester by like writing out your goals this semester. Well, let's say that if you want to achieve like A star or A, well, you have to do what yeah, you have to do those kind of things. Like you have to learn, you have to take your time to study hard and not play games or do other things that might distract you. And what I can say is that sometimes you might feel a bit down because well, not everyone can be that cheerful these days, especially these days where there is the pandemic and the quarantine going on, and we have lots of things going on in our minds, and I kind of understand that. But well, you have
Hmm.
to. I have heard this phrase from maybe from a guy that I know in the past, but I don't really remember his name. But he says that you have to do your reps. Just shut up and just do your reps. Well, what I'm trying to say is that just force yourself to do the things that you have to do. Even if you don't feel like it, just do it, because later on
Hmm.
you will see the fruits
Just do it.
of your
Okay.
labor. That's it.
Mm. Okay, so that's very true. Thank you so much, Adriel and Jane, for your lovely advices to our viewers as well. So, and a little information also about the fact that we also have some clubs at school. Yep. The first one is true is the student council, where students can also participate and work with each other to create creative programs for the school. And another one is the support group, where I think at this time it's very important to have psychosocial and emotional support from one another, and so you don't really feel that you're alone in this as well. Yep. And I just want to summarize for what Jane and Adriel have mentioned, and they both have really great ideas, really great points, is that school is not such a scary place. It can be daunting, yeah, with all the assignments, the exams and stuff, but it's also a place where you can hone your skills, like your social skills, your personal skills to work with people, right, to manage stressful times and challenges, so forth. And as Adriel mentioned, that it's very important to lay out a goal for you and to make sure that you keep on getting it. Like just put in the reps, no matter what you feel, just show up, just do what you're meant to do. Because when you're actually capable of defeating your own self-doubt, your own feeling of laziness, you actually gain more confidence and you gain more and more skill. And don't forget to also enjoy school, because no matter how stressful, how tiring, or how boring it is, you're gonna miss school when it ends, And if you don't really live in the present right now, you're gonna be missing out a lot on life. So we also want you guys to enjoy, to take care of your health, to make sure that you are living your best each and every day as well. Okay, so I just want to mention as well. So for everyone who is interested to join the podcast, uh, you are definitely most welcome, right? We are doing open recruitments for everyone to be a host, to be a content manager, or to be the technical team. So all you need to do is just email us at podcast@pissecondary.panabur.sch.id for any other additional information that you want to give us, or if you want to ask us about anything. So that's all for today, folks. I hope that we will see you back at school. See you on Monday. And yeah, hopefully that it'll be a good academic year for everyone. So thank you, Jane. Thank you, Adriel.
Thank you, Miss.
Yep. See you guys.
Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Bye
See you next
bye.
See
Monday.
you all.
See you all.